Namaskar. Today we will have a look at principles of life in Hindu religion. When you look at Hindu religion, you find that there are three very important things: God, His power, and His laws. These three terms are very beautifully represented by three words: Om, Vrim, Ritam. Om comes from Upanishad tradition. Ring comes from Tantra tradition, according to which power is represented by a ring. And rhythm comes from Ved. So you find a combination of Ved, Upanishad, and Tantra, the three major sources of Indian religion. Swami Vivekananda, in his this prayer to Sri Ramakrishna, he begins with Om Rim Ritam. Om represents God, Rim his power, Ritam is his divine law. That gets expressed in the world in every kind of regulation that you find. That includes laws of physics, laws of chemistry or biology, astrophysics, everything. Now, when one stays true to one or more of these three, one gains strength in the world. And when he gives up that strength and goes completely towards God, he becomes fit to be one with God. Thus, we find that the goal of life in Hindu religion is to give up the glory of God. But for that, first you have to earn the glory of God. And what is that glory of God in this world? It appears as power and pelf. That is wealth and power. As God's power appears in this world as power and pelf. If we sum it up, there are only two goals, there are only two principles that govern Hindu life. First one is prosperity in life, and second is spiritual freedom. Prosperity in the world and freedom from this world. Either you go completely for God or you acquire all power. This is very beautifully expressed in our traditional scriptures as Pravitti Lakshan Dharma, Nivritti Lakshan Dharma. In Nivritti, you give up everything. In Pravitti, you become master of the world. Actually, when you take the path of prosperity, that is Pravitti Marg, it releases you from the different shackles that you have, physical wants, emotional wants, etc. And it also liberates you from limitedness. That means first goal is enjoyment of the world, and second one is to go beyond all enjoyments. Hindu religion very clearly says that both enjoying the world and giving up all enjoyments, both are valid paths. Ultimately, the ultimate goal is to be one with God. That means giving up all enjoyment. And this path of sannyas, which is the ultimate ambition of every Hindu, that someday he will take sannyas. I still find, even in this age, of people who at some point of time they say that no, I want to take sannyas. It's beautiful. So, what are the principles that govern this prosperity and freedom? By freedom, we mean freedom from everything. Life is treated as precious. Life is treated extremely as precious because it is through this life that one can improve one's lot here on this earth. It is through this life that one can reach to any of the heavens, and it is through this life that one can attain mukti, freedom. Life is very, very, very important. Whatever you want in life, for that, the effort that you make has to be made by the body, by this life. And that is why this is extremely important. And through that, you prosper materially and you grow in spirituality. However, prosperity and power, as mentioned earlier, must not be acquired through illegal means. Because if you employ illegal means, it darkens the divine that is within. And if the divine that is within gets darkened, then the possibility of your going for freedom becomes bleak. Ultimate goal is to grow spiritually. It is just one of the rungs of the ladder. If you go for illegal means, know that your life is a waste. So, what you do in life is not important. How rightly it is done, that is important. In Hinduism, practically as in every religion, righteousness, dharma, is divine. To be on the right path, that is divine. We find in our ancient scriptures that they say, you must save wealth. Wealth must be saved. It is for the time of need. You don't know when you may need. And nowadays, with medical expenses increasing, you might need that any point of time. And you must save yourself by giving up all. If you have to give up all your wealth just to save yourself, do it. Life can be given up only for a great cause. Say, for example, those who are trying to save the country. That makes sense. One must not lose hope. One must not despair if simply he is getting some failures in life. And respect for oneself must never go down under any condition. And struggle to change your fortune. That struggle must be there. I'm quoting from Hindu scriptures, which I have collected and put in this small, beautiful book, The Hindu Way. I'll suggest those of you who want to know what Hindu religion is and what one has to do to be a good Hindu must read this book, The Hindu Way. It's freely available. One who is born will die and will be born again till one attains mukti, he or she. So death is not really the end of life. We are discussing principles. It is only the gateway to the next. So suicide is not permitted in Hindu religion. No. And it says that those who commit suicide, they go into Pret Yoni. And there you have to stay as ghost, goblin, etc. for a very long time. Now, if your life is important, life of others is also important because you need to grow spiritually and you need to help others grow spiritually. So, you must not hurt others. That is why Hinduism is the most tolerant religion. By killing others, you harm the divine that is within. By hurting others, you hurt the divine that is within. How to grow? Unselfishness. Unselfishness is the key to growth. That means you have to perform a duty. You want to prosper in life, do it. But focus on the means, not on the goal. Your goal of life should be grow and make others grow. And that's why we find in Gita, Karmanye Vadikaraste, focus on the means. The goal will come on its own. Then, whatever work you do, whatever words you speak, whatever you think, will leave an impression on your mind, which will ultimately guide you towards good or bad. When it comes to success, it is a result of your effort and what you did in the past, which we mentioned just now. Effort plus fate. Fate is It's not what God orders. It is what you did in the past, which is waiting to fructify now. Now, since we do not know the fate is not known. So the entire focus has to be on the effort. A Hindu who doesn't make an effort to change his fortune is no Hindu. Persistent effort, persistent effort. Karmani ev adhikaraste. You need to work. You need to work. Whenever there is an adversity, it should be utilized as new channels. Make new channels. You find adversity and you collapse, you say, I am lost. No, nothing like that. Utilize it. Create new channels. In earlier times, the principles, whatever we are discussing, were codified as dharma, artha, kama, moksha. However, things have changed, times have changed. We can now reshape these ideals and call them vidya, sampad, seva, tyag. These are the four ideals towards which one can dedicate oneself completely. Vidya is when you dedicate yourself to some form of knowledge fully and completely. Sampad is when you create wealth for the society. Like the Vaishyas of the past, they regulated wealth in the society. And there is seva. Seva is something anyone can do. Let that be your only goal in life. If you're a doctor, you're an engineer, you're a bureaucrat, whatever you are, serve and serve. And tyag is when you give up everything for God. You'll find that whatever is done in life, including the four principles, dharma, artha, kama, moksha, these are reflections of these four ideals only, including the varnashram dharma that is based on vidya, sampad, seva, tyag. This. These are the four principles on which Hindu religion runs. Whatever activity you do, whatever job you do, you should be guided by these principles. Take up one or more of these. If if your actions are not guided by these four, then you are not on the right path. You are not following the principles. The idea of Brahman, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, this was also based on this only. Because the idea was you need to grow higher, you need to rise higher, you have to have prosperity. Prosperity that you will utilize to go towards freedom. You must have a goal in life, must have a purpose in life, must have a principle in life. Vidya, Sampad, Sevatyag. One or more of these. If you are dedicated to one, you are great. If you make a combination of them, a little lower. If you don't have any one of these, you are nobody. So, if you want growth, if you want success, you need to make a persistent effort over years. These are the principles of Hindu way of life in short. We will be taking more and more of these topics as we proceed. Thank you so much.